Today I'm going to run you through 5 things that I stopped wasting my money on, and maybe you should too. Maybe. Firstly, gift cards and gift wrap. Now, I may sound like a monster here, but I think that they're both kind of dumb and wastes of money. Sue me. There are so many alternatives to buying a pre-made card that somebody else wrote something personal in. I generally just get a piece of paper, draw a dorky picture in there, write a personal message, chef kiss, you're done. It costs approximately 2 cents to make and it's infinitely more personal. You don't have to be a great artist because that's not the point, but if you feel weird about being creative openly, you don't want to draw a picture because you might be judged, there are loads of other options. You could do an online post with a relevant, funny GIF for that person. You could send a text message. You could do an e-card. We're living in the future. If you're not from Australia, that screeching noise is cockatoos, because they just fly around screaming about everything. Shut up. Now, I acknowledge that there are certain situations here where you may not want to risk a handmade card. Might come across as inappropriate. I mean, I would argue that those people are still wrong and it's nice to get something personal, but there are certain situations where you may not want to risk it. Like a wedding. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe. Okay, fair enough for cards, but what can we use instead of gift wrap, Alex? Do we just hand them a present unwrapped? Maybe, but I think it depends on the friend. Again, sometimes it may not be worth the drama. A paper bag. The best part about it is it's reusable. The person who you give it to can then reuse it again on somebody else. Or you could write your well wishes on the actual bag. Make the bag the card. Personalize the bag. Just get a plain bag, write big happy birthday, whatever, draw some cute little pics of things that are relevant to them. You don't even need a card. It's 2 in 1. One year my little brother got me a hand coffee grinder and a bag of coffee beans, which came in just a plain brown coffee bag. So he used that brown paper bag as a canvas for this really beautiful birthday message. He made it super artsy. It was this big happy birthday and then it was surrounded by these little quotes and pictures that were relevant to me and our relationship. It was really cute. So much better than a store-bought card. Dear brother, beautiful words from some random that don't actually mean anything but sound nice. Love, brother. If you still really want to wrap something, if you want to give people that enjoyment of tearing off the paper instead of just opening the bag, you could just use newspaper. It's arty, it's edgy, it's environmentally friendly. When I first started making these changes early on in the minimalism game, I did feel a bit awkward about it at first, because it's very much against the social norm. The normal thing to do is to give somebody a beautifully wrapped gift. That's what's happened our entire lives since we were children. People wrap gifts nicely and you unwrap them. And then I started showing up for Christmas gatherings with a store bag which contained their present and a hand-drawn card, and people are like, okay. A little bit awkward about the whole thing, not really sure how to take it because it's different. They're not expecting it. But also, to be fair to me, sometimes you say to a friend what do you want for your birthday? And they say oh, I really want this video game. So I go to EB Games, for example, I would buy the game and I would give it to them in the bag. But it's well, to be fair, they already know what they're getting. I don't need that element of surprise. And what's the point really? You're just wasting paper. So yeah, it is a little bit weird. But I think when you first start making that transition to not wrapping people's presents and giving them store-bought cards, I just said something along the lines of, yeah, I could spend an extra $6 to $10 on a card and gift wrap, or I could just spend an extra $6 to $10 on your actual present. So that's what I did. I think if you explain it to people clearly and logically, it's very hard for them to get mad about it. I mean, you're still giving them a gift. They're gonna get mad at you for giving them a gift. Again, there are exceptions to this, and I think you'll know when it's appropriate and when it's not, but I think in most cases you can get away with a brown paper bag. And if you're really close to your friends, if you can be really honest with them and open with them, which hopefully you are because they're your friends, you can just give them a gift. Or you could do away with gifts entirely, as I'm starting to do with a lot of my friends. We're oh, we could spend money getting each other gifts that we don't really need, or we could spend money doing an experience together instead. Maybe I'm being overly practical and I'm taking the fun out of gift giving. I don't think so, you're still getting the gift, right? But when it comes down to it, gift wrap and cards are often a waste of money. The second thing I hardly buy anymore is physical media, by which I mean movies, TV shows, music CDs, video games, that kind of stuff. I used to buy movies and TV shows all the time, all the time. I loved amassing a library of Blu-rays and DVDs. But now I just think, that's dumb. It takes up way too much space, it's expensive. How many of those movies are you actually watching multiple times? There's much better options available these days, namely streaming services. I pay for Disney Plus, my brother pays for Netflix, we have a family plan, super easy, very cost effective. amazing. Streaming things is just so much more convenient. And I feel lazy to say it, but it seems like a lot of effort now when you're lying on the couch. You have to get up and change the DVD every time you want to watch like another 3 episodes of something. Too much effort. Just let me stream. It's definitely made me spoiled and lazy. Plus you can access it from anywhere, it doesn't take up space, new things are constantly added, there's so many options, it just makes so much more sense. But it is getting a bit annoying that there are so many different streaming services now, like every different bloody company wants to start their own streaming service, which makes it so difficult if you don't want to be paying for like 10 different streaming services at once. I'll be honest, I do have some exceptions. I have all 3 extended Lord of the Rings movies and The Hobbit. I have all the Harry Potter movies. I've got Game of Thrones. Well, seasons 1 through 7. And I've got Futurama. But essentially that's because these things are either not available on streaming services or they're not consistently available on streaming services. And believe it or not, something like The Lord of the Rings, I've watched about 12 times and I'll probably watch at least another 12 times. It's definitely been worth owning a physical copy of Lord of the Rings for me. Futurama I actually bought recently. I got it secondhand off eBay for, it was something like $30 for 4 seasons, which was really good because it was much more expensive to buy digitally than pre-owned from eBay. And I don't think any streaming services currently have Futurama, even though Disney now owns it, I think. Add it to Disney Plus Disney. Same goes for music. In my car, I have the Shrek 2 soundtrack, and that is it. That is the only CD that I own. Everything else I ripped onto my computer and then donated. Cleared up so much space. Video games is a bit of a mix. I'm going to speak about it in a future video. The third thing I stopped wasting my money on is souvenirs. Years ago when I was on exchange in Germany, I actually had a list of people and I was like, I have to get souvenirs for these people. And I went out and I purposely found souvenirs for each of these people and I checked them off on my list and I had to cram it all into my suitcase and bring it back home with me. It was stressful, it was unnecessary, and now that I'm older, I just think it's dumb. It's an entirely different matter if, say, you're out at a local market somewhere and you see some item and you just think, oh my God, Emily would love this. And it's something she can't get back home. She would really find value in this. Sure, that's fine. You haven't gone out looking to buy something for someone for the sake of getting them something. You've gone out and you've just happened to find something that you think that somebody would really appreciate. That's an entirely different story. I mean, you still don't have to get it for them. They'll never know, and you don't have to take up space in your suitcase, particularly if you're trying to pack light, just to bring something back home for somebody else. It's your holiday. And as a receiver of souvenirs, I've always appreciated the thought, but I've never really understood it. Even when I was younger, it's like, okay, you went to Italy and you brought me back a magnet in the shape of Italy, and then I'll put it on my fridge, but I didn't go to Italy. Like, I don't have any memories of that place. Like, how is this? Why do I need this magnet? But some people would call you an asshole if you threw it out or donated it, because it's like, but somebody bought that for you. But it's kind of the thought was, it's irrelevant to my life. And even for myself, especially because I love to pack so lightly when I travel, if I go overseas, this is the maximum size of bag that I will take with me. I stopped buying souvenirs and instead I just take photos. Unless of course it's something that I know that someone is going to love, or they specifically requested me like, please can you bring me this thing back from England because I miss it so much. You know, that's a bit different, but I've got to keep it light because it won't all fit in there. I'd much rather remember the trip through photos than some physical, often tacky souvenir. Don't waste the limited time you have on holiday searching for souvenirs for other people because you feel obligated to do so that they're probably not going to appreciate anyway. Just enjoy the limited time you have there. The fourth thing I stopped buying is magazines. I always used to buy men's health magazines because I thought that it would somehow motivate me, like, oh, I'm gonna make this $12 investment and then I'll be sure to actually use these 6 hot tips for a 6-pack in 6 weeks. Whatever. It didn't work. And then I just had stacks of old men's health magazines because I felt like I made an investment in them and I couldn't throw them out. But I never read them again past that first day, so it was just a waste of money. When I did recycle them all in my first minimalist purge, I was like, oh my God, like 20, all at $12 each, that is a lot of wasted money. Any specific information I need, advice, recipes, whatever, I can just read it online. The fifth thing I stopped buying, which is probably gonna sound the most extreme, is multiple pairs of shoes. At the moment, I wear these runners for everything. Exercise, casual wear, whatever. It's helping that we're in lockdown at the moment because I don't need to dress fancy for anything. I just wear those. I do have a pair of nice shoes for formal events, but for everything else, I just wear those runners. And I got them for free off a friend because he ordered them online and they didn't fit him. I know it probably looks terrible, it's not exactly fashionable, but it's a lot more comfortable and it's probably a lot better for my feet. So, meh. I haven't bought a pair of shoes in about 2 years because I've just been working through the pairs that I already had. I am considering getting a pair of boots, like a nice-ish pair that I could wear casually, but then also wear hiking for the rare occasions that I go hiking. Something multi-purpose. Maybe I'll look into boots, I'll think about it. So that's it, those are 5 things that I've stopped buying or really reduced my consumption of as a minimalist. Cards and gift wrap, physical media, souvenirs, magazines, and shoes. Thank you for watching. I hope that you found some useful information in this video. If you did and you want to get more great minimalist tips from me, click on my face to subscribe to my channel, click on another video to have a look at some of my other stuff. Give me a thumbs up, it helps the algorithm, gives me more views, share with your friends, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.